Hey guys, Domenic Nesha here from Wealthi with
Hello.
another episode of Wealthy Wednesday with the lovely Tiffy Rubenard.
How are you doing?
I'm very good.
I'm doing very, very well as well.
So this is a fun episode because it's today we went out and did a bunch of property research. I got to show you my old neighborhood and stomping grounds. I was born, bred, hung out in Beld, Strathfield, Croydon Park, Ashfield, Belmore, the sort of inner western suburbs of Sydney. So this is all unfamiliar territory for Tiffy, but very, very familiar territory for me. And we're very lucky, I feel lucky, to be able to sell good quality property options in my old neighborhood.
Yeah, and you've seen the change. You were able to tell me stories of what it used to be and what it is right now. And that's amazing, right? You have seen it since, well, I don't want to say your age, but you've seen the transition for many years.
I'm getting more grays in my beard now. So today I want to talk about Belmore, what's happening with the Sydney Metro, the Southwest Bankstown line. It's very interesting because it's coming in by 2026. Is that right? Someone's going to correct me in the comments later, no doubt. But 2026 is when we see the Bankstown Metro line. And I think it is going to be particularly impactful on that line because you've got train stations like Belmore where it's 13 kilometres roughly, 13 to 15 kilometres out from Sydney CBD. And if you were to draw a line around,
With a
compass line, you've got suburbs like Strathfield where you've got 2-bedroom apartments selling for 800.
Yeah, when we went and checked a week ago, and it was selling around 800, the 2-bedroom ones.
Yeah, some even more than that, maybe some even up to $1 million. And then, actually more than $1 million. And then you've got 2 bedrooms in Rockdale, and they're 750, 800,000, low 800s. Yeah. And then you've got Belmore.
And Belmore is very interesting because you have the train line there, right? Like Rockdale, you don't have that easy train line as you have with Belmore.
You do, but it's not the same because it hasn't got the upgrade that the Metro is going to have, which is so important. You've got 2-bedroom apartments in the development that we're working on that are 650,000.
Yeah.
So there's like $150,000 arbitrage, which for arguably the same distance between this suburb and the CBD. But this suburb has a significant upside or upswing because of the Metro rail line.
100%. And what the Metro is bringing is frequency. So once the Metro is completed, you'll see on rush hour trains metros every 4 minutes. And that will include more than double the amount of trains you currently have right now. Right, that's massive.
100%. That is massive because it just means that the amount of people that you can that can jump on and off this train line increases dramatically. It increases the connectivity between Belmore and all the other rail stops because people forget. They think that it's just into the city, but I want to go to Marrickville as well.
Yeah.
Have you been to Marrickville? It's a beautiful suburb. You've got so many Vietnamese places, all these cool eclectic bars. You can also go to Waterloo, which is right on the edge of Redfern. The whole area is gentrifying. You can also go straight into Pitt Street. With the Metro, it's the advent of connectivity. You've got all of these rail lines that are into themselves beautiful, growing suburbs, and it's going to feel a lot more European in my perspective.
There will be to me, I know it's very hard to project, but there will be a lot more Newtowns and Marrickvilles.
Yes.
So basically, whenever you think about that hip, cool place to go out for dinner, there will be way more options, right? With a growing population, that's what you want. You want people to have more alternatives. And being able, like parking around those areas like Newtown, Marrickville is not easy.
Nightmare.
It's a nightmare, to be honest. So being able to jump on a train and think I don't have to be bothered with parking in 10 minutes, I can be there. That's amazing.
What else is important is I was pointing out to Tiffy, for you, those of you that are familiar with Canterbury Road, a lot of those suburbs along that corridor, there's a bit of a lack of active retail precincts. And what I mean by that is you kind of drive by and there's a lot of older, not so nice suburbs, a lot, retail precincts. And the reason why is because it lacks intensity. It lacks people. It lacks a lot of vibrancy. It's because you can't park your cars easily along that main road. And for the longest time, there wasn't a lot of density. There wasn't towers.
Exactly.
People are scared of towers. Sorry to interrupt you, Tiffy, but when you have towers, you have density. And when you have density, you have people coming out of the tower, buying stuff, going and getting coffees, going and getting cakes, drinking, eating, buying clothes. You get that Newtown, Surrey Hills vibe.
And the vibe is really important. We went from seeing shops that looked dated with no place to park, not really going anywhere. And once we were kept going on that road, Canterbury Road, we suddenly went into Belmore, and it as you getting closer, it getting better and better, right? Like, so we took a turn right. Can't remember the street.
Bellwood Road?
Yeah, exactly. And everything changed. Like, from that street, you make 2 blocks in towards the train station, and every single bakery, cafe, pub, places to lunch. We had an amazing lunch. We tested the area.
Yeah.
I had an amazing burger, but it all makes the difference. And I was saying, like, I would happily walk at night without feeling afraid of anything, to be honest. It feels safe. It feels like a place where I want to be walking. And I'm happy to do those 3 blocks to the train station.
That's right. So I love this because already it's a great, thriving little hub. You've got, as you said, all the places you want to eat, dine and have fun at. But with the rail line extension, or with the changes to the rail line, with the increased frequency to the city, you're just going to see, I believe, increases in the property prices, as James from Wealthi Consulting discussed with us in one of our previous podcasts. Go and listen to that. But then also you get activity, you get retail trade, you get more people, you get vibrancy, and that's referencing Stephanie Polito. So shamelessly, go back and listen to one of our other previous podcasts where Stefan talks about why Surrey Hills is such an amazing spot and why Rushcutters Bay and all these areas are so good. It's because of the retail trade. It's because of people. We like people. We like energy. So what I wanted to point to there is we often talk about our methodology for picking good area is PIEs, increases in population, spending in infrastructure, employment, and then supply. So with Belmore, let's address some of them.
Yeah.
Population increases aren't so important when you're going to sort of the inner city locations, because the main driver is the CBD. It's the proximity to the CBD.
We already are receiving tons of migrants in Sydney in general, and more people working in the Sydney CBD every day. So there's no concern that the population will keep growing, right?
That's exactly right. We get thousands and thousands of migrants that come into Sydney in particular, and they move to the more affordable, desirable locations, and that's the reason why we look for properties that are underneath the median sale price.
Yep.
Then you look at investments in infrastructure. We've got one of the largest, the unprecedented levels of investment going into this metro.
And that's what the Sydney Metro is to us. There's a lot of other projects in the millions and billions, but the Sydney Metro is the one that we consider will affect people's lives the most and will make these suburbs more connected.
Yes, because it's a step towards this, global city. Sydney is evolving. It's becoming a global city. It's not New York because we haven't got the population. It's not London because we haven't got the population, but it's becoming of that ilk and of that size and standing because of the connectivity. And then we've got employment.
And again, linked to the Sydney CBD and surrounding areas. And yes, there's other areas that are also bringing a lot of employment, like when we see around, for instance, Central and the health precinct, but none of those areas will have the impact that the Sydney CBD will have, right?
Correct. So the underlying premise behind Belmore and why we're liking the developments that we're looking at there is its proximity to the CBD and the speed at which you'll be able to get into the CBD and connectivity into the CBD after the metro comes in. And then lastly, it's supply. It's about picking good quality supply make sure that you're monitoring how many units are coming into the market at any given time, making sure that you're purchasing it at a great price through a reputable company. It's all the things that relate to what you're physically purchasing. Now, today we went to a really nice development.
We went, and you could see quality-wise, the moment we walked in, I said it's a pleasant surprise because it looked amazing. It absolutely looked amazing from floors to ceiling. What I particularly enjoyed the most about this place was how much light was coming into the apartments. And that to me gives me freedom. I don't know. I was saying I would live here.
That's important. So we're talking investments. We talk about picking right markets, but then when Tiffy and I are talking about the investment, it's all emotion. You open the door, we turn to the right, we looked into the living room, floor to ceiling glass windows that covered 180 degrees almost. You had the kitchen that opened up into the living room. The tile or the floors was a really nice tile that looked like a wood, but not in a tacky way. The elevators were finished in a nice brass. You had different comments on brass and gold, but I thought it was pretty elegant and nice. Lots of natural stone. There's a lot of the nice features and detailings that you see in high quality developments that have been delivered well in product that is 650, 700,000.
And when we talk about supply, understanding how close it is to the bus stop, to the train station, to the shops.
The schools
Just across the street. There is a big school, but also the shops that will be on the bottom part.
Yes, the super IGA.
Yeah.
That was cool. Even because the way that the building's wrapped out, I keep on talking. Sorry, Tiffy,
No
but
worries.
It's like a piazza. So if you've been to Florence or if you've been to Barcelona, it was traditional in a concept. It was only four or five stories high. It was wrapped around a quadrangle where you've got school, kids' play equipment, tastefully done. And then on the bottom level, you've got retail, which is being leased as we speak. And they've got an anchor tenant for a super IGA on the underground or the ground floor. And just from a convenience point of view, last night I was working in my property and it was 10:30 at night, hungry, needed to get something to eat, had to jump in the car and go for a drive and find some food. But this is mad. You can go from your apartment.
Yeah. Downstairs, lift, and you're shopping. Like, convenience is a big thing. So I thought the whole area, and especially for me, it's the having alternatives, right? Walking distance alternatives. Yes, if you're going to be doing a big shop, you might jump in a car, but having alternatives close by is always a plus.
So again, all these things that we're talking about, these are qualitative. This is the stuff that you feel, touch, and it feels good when you get there. And this is important for investment because when you've bought your property and you're looking to lease it out to someone, they're going to walk into your apartment or into your house and say, wow, this is nice. Oh, there's so much light. Oh, wow, the IGA is downstairs. Oh, the bus stop's across the road. The school's across the road. We can walk down to the new metro. It's only 20 minutes from work. It's all of this stuff that starts ticking off in their brain. They say, I'm willing to pay $20 more for this.
Yeah, and you will, like it or not, you're competing against other units for rental. And if yours is the nicer, new looking one that has an amazing location, the most convenience, high quality.
Ducted air conditioning.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, it ticks almost every single box, if not everything. And maybe the ones that doesn't tick is because of an emotional decision or someone wanting something different, right? You will never cater for 100% of people,
No.
But you're making sure that you are reaching the most number of people.
Which reduces your risk. So this is an interesting thing that I want to talk about right now. And that is in the space that Tiffy and I play in the way that we service and work for our clients is we only sell brand new property. Okay. And we do that. We get paid by the developer and that's how we keep ourselves living. That's how we pay the bills. But in our environment, off the plan sales, and I'm doing inverted commas with my fingers right now, it's an interesting space. And for many, many years, for the past couple of years actually, people have been scared because you have to wait before you can go and see the property or wait until you can go and buy it because You pay a deposit, you wait till the end, and then the property's there.
And that's the pros and cons. Some people rather wait so that they can save more money, and some others want things right away.
They want it now.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those people that wants brand new property, wants something, but now you're at a very, very lucky point of the market where there is completed stock that is brand new that you can go out, touch, feel, see, look for the view for yourself and get that. This is a very, very small window of opportunity. This happens for only at times after we've had a crash in the market and developers are sitting on leftover stock, where normally it sells all off the plan. In fact, in 2014, 15 and 16, for many, many weekends, we were selling developments in a weekend.
Yeah.
You put it up, 100 units gone in a weekend, maybe in a couple of weeks. We're now in a part of the market where there's residual stock or apartments that are left over. So we can be picky.
Yeah. And there will always be people who will want something that is ready to go. So this is that opportunity.
So for all of you that are out there sitting on the fence and you want to have a look at some newly completed stock that's close to a train station, that's got the upside of the metro, come and have a chat to myself or Tiffy, submit a wealth score, and someone's going to contact you from our office and we'll talk to you and help you out. Also, I want to talk about our Wealthi event.
Awesome. Go for it.
So we had an event just last week. It was awesome. We got to cover a lot of new material talking about what's happening in the market, where we see it in the next couple of months or next year, what happened last year, what's happening in political environment, how we choose property, different areas that we chose. The last event we're talking about particularly house and land and the western suburbs of Sydney and sort of the airport. This next event is on the 1st of April. Thank you, Tiffy. We're doing it here at the Commons. We're going to keep it as a nice, tight team or group of about 30 to 40. We're limiting the ticket sales. We have Mustafa coming in to talk from Western Sydney Business Chamber, talking about investments. We're going to have Theo Chambers, the CEO or the founder of Shore Financial. We're the fastest growing, one of the largest privately owned mortgage broking businesses. So he's going to teach us how to get into the market early and how to get your finances in tip-top shape. And we're going to have Reese Morgan from Boston Marketing. Now, Reese works very, very closely with Pace, and Pace is probably one of the best property developers in Australia. They're creating an incredible development called Melrose Park. And one of the previous podcasts we did, we actually interviewed him to talk about a lot of the green technology they're using. So come in, listen to Reese. He's got a lot of really cool, interesting things to talk about. And we'd love to see you there.
Yeah, so again, I think events are for those people who are wanting to do some research and sort of not knowing where they're standing, and they're trying to understand what they actually want. Mm-hmm. This is a great opportunity to hear from experts and start deciding, yes, I want that, no, I don't want that. I think that's a great opportunity. So again, if you want to participate of the event, it's on the 1st of April, 6 p.m. You mentioned the Commons, that's where our office is. It's
in Chippendale.
In Chippendale. It's a co-working space and a lovely place, and where we have our podcast recording studio. And yeah, you can reach out to the team and book your tickets.
Awesome. Is there anything else that we needed to cover today?
I think that's it.
So that was another episode of Wealthi Wednesday. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you liked it, then leave a little like, leave a comment, send it on to some of your friends. I'm sure there's some helpful tidbits that you can pass on to some friends or relatives. Thank you, Tiffy.
Thank you.
We'll see you all soon.